All right, guys, well, tomorrow is a big day for the EK. We've got the experts at FCS coming down. They offer an all-wheel drive bolt-on kit for these cars, and we are going to be working with them to basically utilize some of the componentry from their all-wheel drive kit to make this car rear-wheel drive. So in anticipation for them coming down tomorrow, we're gonna go ahead and get the fuel tank out of this car, because where it's at, it's actually right in the way of where the drive shaft needs to go through to the differential. So I'm gonna go ahead and pop that out now and get this thing prepped for tomorrow. So another move in anticipation for the FCS guys tomorrow, Ricky is actually removing the whole rear corner of the car. So all we'll have left is basically the subframe under here. These will be empty, no suspension at all. So when Jason from FCS gets here tomorrow, we'll be able to kind of mock things up for you guys so you can get a visual of what we're going for here. All right, so Ricky just basically one-man showed this. So now we got basically nothing in here anymore, and we've got a clean undercarriage subframe area, unibody I guess mounting point, that when FCS gets here tomorrow, we can mock some things up so you guys can see what the rear end of this beast is gonna look like. So, all right, well, since there's no suspension underpinnings in the car right now, now's a great time to actually roll these fenders. Since this car's gonna be going off to paint, now is the best time, especially since there's nothing in the way in here to stop you from swinging a little sledgehammer. It's a good idea to now fold them up. And what that's gonna do is allow you clearance to run a more aggressive wheel and tire fitment. So I like to use my handy little 3-pound sledge and work my way from one side to the other, nice and evenly, folding it a little bit at a time until it's right back up against the inside. We're gonna wanna put as much tire into this thing as possible. So this will help. And the nice thing is you know, we're doing this before body work. So it'll be all done and rolled. When it goes to body, they'll just smooth all this out for us and make it look all pretty. Now's the best time to do this. All right, so the paint is now the casualty of our 3-pound sledge, but that's okay, because like I said, this thing's gonna go off to the paint shop. They're gonna smooth all this out once you're done, or once I'm done, and now we can actually fit some meat under here. You guys wanna see what it looks like on the inside? Oh yeah, now. That's that. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow, and when Jason from FCS gets here, and bring you guys the good stuff.
The next day.
All right, we'll flash forward to the next day. Ricky and I got the shop all set up in anticipation for Jason from FCS to get here. He should be here any moment. Actually, he just texted me. As you guys know, we pulled each corner off. We got the fuel tank out, and we opened up this area so that we can start to see how we're gonna make this rear wheel drive. We already have an idea in our head of how we're gonna do it. We're gonna see if that's actually gonna work out or not. And Jason has been around Hondas since '93. He's been a part of some pretty storied race teams that have drag raced Hondas for years and years and years and set a lot of records and stuff. But what we're doing is a little different than what he does. He builds all-wheel drive systems, and this is a rear-wheel drive system. What we're doing is we're working with Jason to basically modify his all-wheel drive system to use it as a rear-wheel drive platform. There he is there.
What's up?
Oh, wait, the light's screwing us up. Welcome to the shop, brother.
Let's go, man.
Come on in, baby. He's gonna go ahead and unload all these bits out of his awesome Mercedes-Benz
Cool, man. So we have the diff, and then we'll have some trailing arms.
Can I grab a box? All right, you're gonna need to explain to me what all these bits are and how they work. I've looked at a lot of your stuff online, but
Yeah,
it's better to hear it from the horse's mouth.
It's all in its all glory. So
Oh
it's all
my.
pretty much pre-assembled.
Dang, is this how it ships?
Yeah, it pretty much ships this way. Obviously, the assemblies is not fully assembled like this,
Right.
but you can, you know, it doesn't take a scientist.
All
to
rod
turn it,
ends.
but it comes pretty much pre-assembled.
Cool, so we went with 4 on 100 so that we can still run our Mugen wheels, which is cool.
Performance pad from Willwood.
So when you order this kit, you can actually get it your choice of 4 on 100 or 5 on 114.3, which is a really common, as you guys know, Japanese pattern, and Willwood brake assembly. This is all part of the kit.
All part of the kit.
Man, there's our little wee diff.
Even they come with brake lines.
Brake lines, because ours are clapped out.
Little spherical bearings, spacers, and then
This is like candy, bro. Holy cow. This is all basically out of your brain.
yeah, this is all complete one-off design that we've started from scratch, essentially.
Wow, and you learned how to do this just from racing?
Yeah, from just hanging out with a bunch of off-road guys, you know they,
Really? All right.
you know, whenever they feel like building something, they just go in their garage and go.
You hear that, Eric? Mr. Ilk Fab, you off-road guy, you. I hope you're ready because you're gonna be helping with the front end of this car.
Yeah.
So what's this one?
This open the rear diff. You got most of the job done, so it'd probably be like a 20-30 minute deal.
Yeah, Ricky and I were excited yesterday. So.
Box, no welding required.
Really? Zero welding.
Ready to go.
You hear that, guys like me that don't do welding? This kit's for
You
you.
can literally put this kit in the driveway of your house with pretty basic tools. So, and we actually
Dang.
supply some of the stuff for it.
Did you guys use that as a motivation for building this kit, or
Yeah,
is
I
it
mean,
just
like I said, you know, we
make it as easy as
everything
possible?
Before, you know, we didn't have no fancy tools. We'd have a Harbor Freight connector and a TIG welder, and we just got done. You know, that's
Heck
the way it
yeah.
was.
All right, guys, sorry for the quick interruption. I wanted to let you know that FCS is actually having a sale right now. 20% off all of their products on their website. You guys can use that link by clicking it below in the description. Go over there, punch that in, bang, 20% off your order. The guys over at FCS are awesome, and you're gonna find that out later in this video. We're gonna jump straight to the cutting and getting that thing put in, and then after that, if you guys are anything like me, you're gonna wanna stick around because Jason and I from FCS are gonna go over what makes this kit cool and all the technology behind it and all the materials that are used to make it and how it installs at the end of the video. So if you guys are geeky like me, stick around to the end. There's a lot of great information in there. And don't forget to get your FCS parts. All right, well, let's start throwing this together. All right, so this is the mock-up of the right rear corner of the FCS all-wheel drive kit, which we're using for our rear-wheel drive configuration. Man, this lower arm is so sick, super buff, looks awesome, and the change in geometry on it is gonna really help us at the track. Also, geometry has been changed here as well. This arm is a bit longer than what you would normally find in a stock application, which allows this to travel up and down with nearly zero camber when it is at full ride height. Yeah. So, man, this kit is awesome, Jason. Thank you so much for providing this for the project. We're looking forward to getting the axles in it, getting the diff mounted, doing the fabrication that is required to make everything fit. And yeah, thank you so much, dude.
No problem. Thank you, man. I thank the Honda community for allowing us to build cool parts, you know?
Yeah, man. Well,
I've
you've
been doing it since '93, so you know, I have the opportunity to never leave. You know, I'm like
awesome.
I'm like the bad stepchild that won't leave the house.
You keep building badass parts like this, bro, you're gonna be around for a long time.
I appreciate it, guys.
So huge shout out to Jason. Thank you so much, FCS Performance. All right, guys, so went ahead and got my mask, and we're gonna go ahead and make the first mod to this cross member here so that we can put the mount on for our rear diff and hang the diff. All right, well, as Jason mentioned, that wasn't too bad. Came right out, some pretty decent sized thickness material, but pretty easy to get to with the grinder. And now we've got this nice space here. I'll go ahead and bolt the brace for the differential. I'm gonna mount that back up and make sure we've got ample clearance. Jason says we don't need to box this in, it's plenty strong, and he's done a bunch of these kits, so I personally might wanna just fold in some metal here and just clean it up, but if it's not necessary, I'll take Jason's word for it for now. We're just gonna mock this up, so we're gonna bolt it in. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and toss this Johnny on our transmission jack, or our differential jack, and go ahead and pop it up into place, see where we're at here. All right, so this is gonna require quite a bit of trial and error. Being this is the first time I've ever done this, I can see what Jason was saying about having to trim this out. We're smack against it already up here at the top of the differential. I'm not sure you guys can actually see that, but right here, we are touching the bottom of the floor pan. So I think I might just notch that out for the time being. And then at some point, like I was saying earlier, we'll probably cut this whole area out because this is the back seat pan and we have no need for back seats anymore. We'll probably just flat plate this, make it look nice, and it'll create a lot of clearance for everything else we're doing over here.
The next day.
All right, guys, we're back for another day on the EK. Got a couple things we want to get accomplished today. Since the guys at FCS were so kind to come down and bring us part of their all-wheel drive system for the rear of our car to help with the rear-wheel drive change out, we do need to clearance some of the underbody of the car. Man, you guys are probably hearing a lot of noise in the background. It's because we're having the 335i detailed today, so it looks nice and shiny at the show, and also for the photography and videos that we have planned. So bear with me here as I talk over the buffer from our boys at Grandmasters, and I get started on actually cutting away with this body saw on the bottom of this car. Alright, so that was pretty simple. With the reciprocating saw, we were able to get this whole inner floor pan out, which included the fuel pump access and all that stuff. So this is a pretty big chunk of metal and sound deadening that we've removed. And don't worry, guys, we're gonna go ahead and put a floor pan back in this, but it's just gonna be a flat pan. Since this is gonna be a track car, we don't need rear seat pans for your butts to fit. It's gonna be flat in the back, cage is gonna go over top of it. It's gonna be real sick when it's done. But for now, this actually serves a great purpose as a test hole for us, and also for us to mount the differential up high enough in the chassis and it's not making contact with the OEM floor pan. So this is a good start. All right, so we're back, and so there's Mickey's new home. He dug out a hole for you guys. And what we're doing right now, we actually measure the crossbar for the diff. And what it does is this FCS bar will attach to this, and from here it'll actually go to the wall of each side of the frame. So what we did is we make some holes and we put some rib nuts in it, and this thing should bolt right up. It's gonna go from here to the chassis, and from here to the diff, and that's it. Alright, well, Ricky and I recently picked up a spot weld drill bit so we could drill out all the spot welds for all these useless brackets that are no longer going to be needed here, because we're not running rear seats. We don't need like rear seat mount brackets and bracing and stuff like that, because this car's going to get a roll cage. So taking out any additional metal that we don't need, get it out of the way and lighten up the car a little bit before we put a bunch of metal back in it to make it safe. It's always a good thing, and so this drill bit will come in very handy. It's going to keep us from having to drill a hole all the way through the chassis to remove these brackets. This thing basically cuts around the outside of the spot weld and allows you to break them loose. So I've already removed one here. We're going to go ahead and do this side now. And now's the time where we're gonna go ahead and cut away. If you guys are technical and you're into cool race car parts, things like that, like I am, you're gonna wanna stick around, because Jason from FCS actually came down and hand delivered his kit. He and I went over every part of the kit and sort of talked about the benefits and features of the kit. So if you guys are anything like me, you're gonna wanna stick around for the next few minutes and get the lowdown on the FCS rear wheel drive conversion parts that we've gotten.
Yeah, so these are rear lower control arms that are specifically made for our all-wheel drive kit. We've actually repositioned this area for clearance on the CV joints that go into the actual physical trailing arm.
That's the question Rick and I had.
Yeah. So I spaced this out an extra 1.5 inches to just clearance the boot. It clearances regardless, but the boot is close.
So you guys understand, if you were to just try to throw an axle in the stock rear suspension, it's going to hit some stuff. So Rick and I were looking at it yesterday going, how the hell is this going to fit through here? And that's how, because he modified where this
very slightly. So this arm is slightly longer as well than a factory control arm is. We did change this area and it's pushed over about 1.5 inches.
Cool. So that creates the clearance you need for the axle.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all ready, and it's all you know, has full sphericals, FK joints all around. And this is made privately through FCS Race. Cool. And they make those for us.
So part of the reason I chose to work with Jason at FCS was, one, I know he's a good guy and he's an old dude like me. And also, these parts are absolutely gorgeous. So you guys know I love the undersides of my cars will look good. Yeah. This is gonna help.
Yeah, we try to take pride in the work.
I mean, look at this powder coating.
Yeah, we do all the powder coating in-house. So we just keep a lot of the quality control.
Do you have a big oven in there?
Oh yeah.
Bro,
that's a 6-foot oven. We do hundreds of parts.
Quality control at its finest.
Yeah.
Do it yourself. Well, I have one question.
Sure.
How in the heck are we gonna mount this differential, which is from a CRV if you guys have missed our other episodes? This is a CRV rear diff. Wee little thing, but I'm trying to figure out how you're gonna make it mount on the existing diff mount.
So yeah, we problem solved that as well. We wanted to make something where you could do over the weekend.
Okay.
No fancy equipment. Yeah, with no big welders, no squirt guns or any of that. I wanted the end user to just pop open a box, look at it, bolt it in. Make some slight clearancing. Obviously, you have to clearance the subframes and stuff like that, but a full bolt-in style rear differential kit. So
You guys are gonna want to see this.
yeah, so this is our
I can see the
rear
top.
subframe plate. It's made completely out of 6061 billet, and we've anodized it and pocket
You
scalloped.
went back and
the
cut it
machine.
after the
Yeah, absolutely.
powder coating.
Kind of gave it that extra bling, you know?
Man, that is a sick looking piece. So I run on the EG, I actually run some of the, I think it's ASR
Sure,
subframe
very
brakes
similar.
and stuff.
Yeah,
This looks very similar to that, and it probably serves a similar purpose.
Exactly.
But it also serves the purpose of a diff mount.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So we just try to pretty much simplified it as much as possible for the end user.
Yeah.
And this is what we came up with. It was pretty much a foolproof deal.
Okay.
Less than an hour install once you have everything off the car.
And we're gonna show you guys.
Exactly.
We're gonna actually bolt this up. So we're gonna finish unboxing. We'll get started on that.
Sure.
So obviously this differential has to mount on this somehow, some way. Jason figured out a way to pick up this rear point here with a bracket.
Yeah. So,
Okay, so that hangs the differential like so.
Exactly. So this kit, the beauty of this kit is you're not married to one differential in the Honda conversion area.
Right, so if I want to go
So
to
if
a
you want a
wagon one, I can go buy one of those.
And we have an upper subframe piece
Oh, wow.
that's fully powder coated and it's full chromoly.
So this is
It's
bolted
badass
as a
piece.
chassis there as well.
Yeah, that's actually the mount for the diff.
Oh,
so if I come around here.
Up here, yeah.
Yeah, this will literally sit.
Dang, you guys thought of it all.
Yeah. And then you have this. This is the baddest out of all of this. This really kind of trick that we came up with. So
that's
we didn't want the end user to pretty much weld anything in because not a lot of people own welders.
Right, yeah.
So we have all the hardware kit, and it comes with this cool little trick tool here.
It comes with the nutsert tool.
Yeah, we actually send the kit with this shouldered nutsert tool.
You want to know
It's a
what's funny,
9/16
Jason?
Kit was it?
I'm looking at those nutserts going, I know I bought these same size nutserts for another project, and my nutsert tool would not crimp them.
Yeah, these
Because they're
are
too big.
Beasts. These are actually used on the same tool, or I would say the nutserts that I found these from are military grade. They use these on the Humvees
Right.
out in the field. So whenever they break something out in the field,
It's easy to drill it
they
out
just
and-
drill out and they just put new ones in.
So I was
And
wondering,
they
like,
use-
oh, I'm gonna have to go order
Yeah,
the
they
big
use
boy.
this. They use this tool
Dude.
to do it because this literally you can use that with a 1/2-inch socket wrench
Yep.
and a 9/16 box
Yeah,
wrench,
in the
and you
field,
just
you
crank
can just
it
knock
in.
it out on a Humvee.
Yeah, boom,
knock it out in your driveway.
So obviously we supply all the nutserts and all the hardware to install this kit. Yeah, and that's it. That's the beauty of
So
how
it's-
simple this kit is.
If we were doing all-wheel drive, how much more componentry is involved with that?
You would obviously, other than the donor parts, we do offer a carrier bearing mount kit for the drive shaft because it is a 2-piece drive
Yep,
shaft, and we
okay.
do offer them for the wagon and the CRV.
Okay.
And they're full billet.
And that
they're
bolts
badass.
right in too, I saw,
Yeah,
right?
and it comes with the same tool, the same nutserts, and we've hung over 400 pounds on that.
I watched some YouTube videos of other guys doing all-wheel drive kits, and I did notice them welding carrier bearings. And
Yeah,
I was in my head already before I ever even talked to you, going, man, this is not something someone could easily do themselves.
Sure. You would have to seek out a fabricator.
All right, well, let's start throwing this
Cool.
together. So where do you start with something like this? Is it best to start with the brakes?
Yeah, we
and
can
that
start
means
with
we
the
got to do a
brakes.
little bit of cutting. And
Sure, there's a little bit of cutting and trimming involved, but other than that, we have factory style bolts in there. You see these two holes here, these are actually for sway bar provision.
Yep.
This is probably a later a base style model Civic,
Yeah,
so
well,
it
it's
won't
the
have
DS.
this. But if you get the Type Rs or the higher level EK style chassis,
Yep.
they will have these already threaded.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
so-
so these are going to be your nutserts.
Yeah, so you can put nutserts in them, no problem, but you can also just kind of run a nut in the back right there and then just tighten up that side.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't really need it, but I like to have it because the security of having
it's
three,
additional.
6 instead of 2 is much more beneficial.
Sure.
Yeah, so you just slide those through there, and then that will pretty much hold for that.
When you do this in your driveway, are you meant to use the factory bolts?
Yeah, okay. And that's as simple as that, man. Pretty simple already, right? Wow. Okay. So obviously you want to torque those down and tighten down to factory specification. I'm here with these M8 125 Yeah, so once we put this in, you're gonna have to cut out about 6 inches of section out of this stock subframe here.
Okay, so we're gonna go from basically here?
Yeah, I pretty much would just cut right here, just to be safe, and get that all clearanced out. And we're gonna basically cut all the way up to the floor line right here.
Rick, pen, please, for a second.
Oh, okay. And then that will pretty much tuck into there. You see how that fits it. You have to kind of
Give it a little,
because we made it really tight.
Okay.
So you're gonna have to kind of just tap it in there.
All you gotta do is just tap it in. Just tap it in now.
So
And
do
it
you
will
locate this off of the diff?
Exactly.
So put the diff there, put a training
some
jack
bolts
under
in
it,
it, yeah.
and then line it up.
Exactly.
Give it a little rubber mallet up in there,
Yeah.
mark your holes, nutsert, and then it's done.
It's done.
What we didn't talk about, what Jason mentioned, was this part of the, this is a spare tire well that we're working underneath basically, but part of this needs to either be clearanced up with a hammer or cut out. Being that we have a welder here in the shop and the capabilities to box that in, we'll probably just make it nice and we'll roll a piece of metal that'll go up in there.
It'll look way better than just knocking it in.
Yeah, and seal that out. Or the other option is to actually just cut this all out, right? And just flat pan it.
Yeah.
Because we are going to do a fuel
Because if you're
cell
going to do a
back.
fuel cell back here, if you were to do that, it
Yeah.
would probably be nice to just section that out, section this out, and then make a flat panel to just make it nice and smooth and it'll look nice and clean too.
I think I know what we're going to do. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching today's video. I gotta say a huge thank you to all you guys who are subscribed to our channel. Our growth has been unreal lately, and we appreciate every last one of you guys. If you aren't subscribed, please do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. There's gonna be a lot of great content coming up with this car and the 4 other projects that we have going on in the background. So please subscribe to our channel.